Every sport has its iconic moments worthy of having a name. Hockey has the miracle on ice, baseball has the shot heard around the world, basketball has the shot, and football has Gaza trying to calm down a mass shooter with a roast chicken and a few cans of super. But there is one moment that goes beyond all of them. A moment so controversial that the mere mention of it anywhere in England can conjure coping, seething, and moulding even 38 years later. It is a moment where one man managed to become both a god and a devil in the span of a single game of football. Diego Maradona and the Hand of God. Please leave a like and a comment on this video because it really helps me in the algorithm. Konnichiwa, Chud-kun. Are you feeling down in the dumps again? Are you contemplating why you decided to pick up those bad habits during the foolhardy rush of your youth? What's that? You want to get better? Well, as a complete coincidence, we have just the thing for that, courtesy of today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is the preeminent gold standard in the flavoured airspace, with a solid reputation and a simple mission: to help you kick that one vice of yours down a stairwell. Like a hyperactive Mexican child who's watched far too much Dragon Ball who started practicing on his abuela. With a masterfully crafted wooden finish alongside its absence of vapour or nicotine, this zesty little trinket is indeed an aesthetic boon alongside a lifestyle one. But its pleasant sensations aren't just limited to the visual, my dearest fumelings. Oh no, for Fume offers a wide range of specialised flavour cores to suit the palates of anyone who locks lips with it. From crisp mint and white cranberry all the way to black licorice and cinnamon hearts, there is a flavour for everyone with Fume. My personal favourite is sparkling grapefruit, because I not only find the act of sucking with a grapefruit efficient in warding off my deviant urges, but also inspiring and empowering. You should all try the grapefruit method. Of course, when you're not suckling on the Fume, it will still come in handy, as it also doubles as an incredible fidget toy, both with the airflow valve and specialised magnetic base being a very neat vector for whimsy. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story. For a limited time only, use my code Dankula at the checkout to get your free topper, as it is the perfect accessory for your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It is also chewable for those of you that love to fidget and are absolute barbarians, and it's also reusable. So head to tryfume.com, that is tryfum.com, and use code Dankula or scan the QR code on the screen to get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. But before we start with that fateful day, first a little bit of history. Born on October the 30th, 1960 in Lanús, Argentina, Diego Armando Maradona was born to Diego Maradona Sr. and Dalma Salvadora Franco as the first son in the family after 4 daughters. He and his family moved to the slums of Villa Fiorito, a shanty town on the outskirts of Buenos Aires. Villa Fiorito was a very tough place, riddled with poverty and crime. Like the UK. For young Diego, football was an escape and a beacon of hope. As a young lad, Diego showed extraordinary talent for football. He joined Los Cebolitas, the youth team of Argentinos Juniors, when he was just 8 years old. When he went for trials, the youth coach, due to Diego's extraordinary talent, couldn't believe that he was only 8 years old, and he asked for his ID. Because, as the coach himself said, although he had the physique of a child, he played like an adult. His dribbling, vision and playmaking skills were far beyond his years, and he quickly became the star and sole focus of the team. By the age of 12, he was already a local celebrity, performing tricks at halftime breaks of First Division games to entertain the crowds. Maradona's professional debut came at the tender age of 15 for Argentinos Juniors on October the 20th, 1976, just 10 days before his 16th birthday. In the literal first few minutes of his debut, he performed the most disrespectful move in football against Juan Domingo Cabrera. A kick through the legs, also known as a nutmeg. In football, there is nothing more humiliating than being nutmegged. From the moment he first stepped onto the pitch, it was very clear that he was something special. His incredible skill, agility, and passion for the game set him apart from the rest. And over the next 5 years, he scored 115 goals in 167 appearances for Argentinos Juniors. A staggering record that caught the attention of bigger clubs. In 1981, Maradona made a move to Boca Juniors, the club that he had always dreamed of playing for. Despite interest from Europe, he chose to stay in Argentina to play for his beloved Boca. He won the Argentine Primera Division in his first season, further cementing his status as a national hero. But Europe was calling, and in 1982, after a disappointing World Cup campaign, Maradona transferred to FC Barcelona for a then world record fee of $7.6 million. But before we continue, I think it's very important to point out that during his time playing in Europe, our boy developed a slight cocaine addiction. While the exact date is very hard to pinpoint, it is widely believed that Maradona started using cocaine regularly in the mid-80s. And for the sake of making a good story, moving forward, keep in mind that everything that Maradona did, there is a very good chance that he was on cocaine while he was doing it. His time in Barcelona was not easy. While he showed flashes of brilliance, scoring 38 goals in 58 games, his time there was marked by injuries, a good old case of hepatitis, and an almost career-ending broken ankle by the appropriately named Andone, the Butcher of Bilbao. That's not a name, shut up. But after breaking his ankle, Maradona had to take a 3-month recovery period. Maradona himself said that the sound was comparable to wood breaking. Andone still actually has the boots that destroyed Maradona's ankle, which he keeps in a glass case. In the 1984 Copa del Rey final against Athletic Bilbao, Maradona received another hard tackle by Andone. Combined with the racist taunts related to his father's Native American ancestry by Bilbao fans and being shit-talked by Miguel Sola at full time after Barcelona had lost 1-0, Maradona had had enough. And he very, very famously lost his shit. He headbutted Sola, elbowed another Bilbao player, and he kneed another one in the face, actually knocking him out. The Bilbao players then surrounded him to kick the fucking shit out of him, with Andola kicking him in the chest before the rest of the Barcelona team joined in the brawl. Then the fans invaded the pitch and they all started fighting as well, and essentially a full-on riot broke out. Half of Spain was watching that brawl, with 100,000 fans in attendance alongside the then Spanish king, Juan Carlos, with Barcelona and Bilbao players beating the shit out of each other and fans throwing objects at the players, coaches, photographers, and basically everyone in the stadium. When the dust settled, over 60 people were injured. And that was the end of Maradona's career in Barcelona. He was then transferred to Napoli for another world record fee. Fast forward to 1986, the Football World Cup was happening in Mexico. Argentina, led by their prodigious number 10, were among the favourites to win. and they were going to be up against England in the quarter-final. But this wasn't just about football. You see, just 4 years prior to this, in 1982, Argentina and the United Kingdom had a little bit of a scrap over a place called the Falkland Islands. I won't get too deep in the weeds with this, but I'll just give you a little bit of background. The Falklands War was a short but fierce skirmish with the UK and Argentina, both claiming ownership of these remote South Atlantic islands, known as the Falklands in the UK and the Islas Malvinas in Argentina. These islands were currently under British control, and Argentina did not like that. The dispute heated up in April of 1982, where Argentina, under the military rule of Leopoldo Galtieri, decided to take matters into their own hands and invaded the islands, aiming to snatch them from British control. Enter Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who, despite being better known more for sinking the British economy than enemy ships, sprang into action. She swiftly dispatched a naval task force to the South Atlantic. The conflict was intense and brief, lasting only 10 weeks, with fierce battles occurring on land, at sea, and in the air. By June of 1982, British forces had regained control of the islands, but not without sacrifice. The war resulted in the loss of around 649 Argentine and 255 British servicemen. The war left very deep scars, especially in Argentina, where it was seen as a national disgrace and a severe blow to national pride. So this conflict was still very fresh in the minds of both Argentinians and the English. And they were now facing each other in the quarter-final. Things were somewhat tense. June 22nd, 1986. The Estadio Azteca in Mexico City was packed with over 100,000 fans. The stage was set for an epic showdown. The first half was goalless, tense, and filled with near misses and rough tackles. However, at the 54-minute mark, a legendary goal was scored. Maradona received the ball in his own half, just behind the halfway line. He dribbled past 5 English players before rounding goalkeeper Peter Shilton and shooting the ball into the net. Maradona showcased his incredible speed, skill, and ability to maintain control of the ball under intense pressure. This astonishing solo effort was dubbed the goal of the century, and it solidified Argentina's victory over England with a score of 2-0. Yes, at this point, Argentina were 2 goals ahead of England. But despite this goal of the century possibly being the highlight of Maradona's career, it's the goal he scored just 4 minutes before this that is the most shameful part of his career. And that's the goal that we're interested in this video. In the 50th minute, the score was tied at 0-0. The play began with a misdirected clearance from an English defender, sending the ball high into the air towards the England penalty box. Maradona, standing at a short king size of 5'5", leapt into the air against England's goalkeeper, Peter Shilton, who was 6 feet tall. The odds were stacked heavily against Maradona in this aerial duel. But against all of the odds, he got the ball over Shilton and got it into the net. Argentina celebrated, their fans went wild, but England, on the other hand, went apeshit. Their fans went apeshit, their managers went apeshit, all of them went apeshit. But why though? Let's see that goal again. Stop. Enhance. 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 That is right, the cheeky bastard used his left hand to punch the ball into the goal. Maradona ran to his teammates to celebrate, and noticing that they obviously saw that handball, nobody came to embrace him until he told them, "Come and hug me or the referee isn't going to allow it." Referee Ali bin Nasser and his assistants did not see the handball. The goal stood, putting Argentina ahead 1-0. In the post-game interview, showing absolutely no remorse whatsoever, Maradona cheekily commented that the goal was scored a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. And that is how the event became known as the Hand of God. Argentina went on to win the match 2-1, meaning that if this goal wasn't allowed, it would have been a draw. The Hand of God sparked one of the biggest controversies in football history. England went absolutely fucking ballistic, calling the goal a blatant act of cheating and criticising the officiating. Meanwhile, in Argentina, Maradona was hailed as a hero, a symbol of defiance and genius. With the Falklands War still very fresh in the minds of many, this wasn't just a football match. This was about national pride and identity. Maradona commented about it in a 2019 interview linking the goal to the war. He said, "We as Argentinians didn't know what the military was up to. They told us that they were winning the war. The hype made it seem like we were going to play out another war. I knew it was my hand, it wasn't my plan, but the action happened so fast that the linesman didn't see me putting my hand in. The referee looked at me and he said, 'Goal.' It was a nice feeling, like some sort of symbolic revenge against the English." Look, RGs, I love you all very dearly, but Falklands this, Falklands that, maybe you should all start falking some bitches. The Hand of God was met with extreme outrage and fury in the English media. The press widely condemned the goal as an act of blatant cheating, and the controversy overshadowed what might have been an appreciation for Maradona's second goal. The Daily Express had a headline that said, "The Con Man," reflecting the sentiment that Maradona had duped the referees and robbed England of a fair chance. The Daily Mirror ran with the headline, "You cheat," further emphasising the sense of betrayal felt by the English public and the media. Prominent football writer Brian Glanville called it a brazen and outrageous piece of cheating, expressing a common view among English journalists. In his match report for the Sunday Times, Glanville wrote, "It was a travesty. A deceitful act that will go down in history as the most infamous goal in World Cup history." BBC commentator Barry Davies' immediate reaction to the goal during the broadcast was also telling. He said, "That was a goal that England will be disgusted with. Maradona has cheated, and England are out of the World Cup." To say that the English media was shitting and pissing themselves was an understatement. And it was a beautiful showcase of seething, the likes of which the football world had never seen before. In stark contrast, the Argentinian media celebrated the goal and Maradona's ingenuity, praising his skill and the cleverness it must have took to score such a controversial goal. So England were furious at him for cheating, and Argentina were proud of him for cheating so well. El Gráfico, Argentina's leading sports magazine, featured Maradona on the cover, with the headline La Mano de Dios, the Hand of God, echoing Maradona's own description of the goal. The publication praised Maradona for his cunning and his ability to seize an opportunity, framing the event as a moment of brilliance rather than deceit. Journalist Horatio Pagani wrote in Clarin, "Maradona showed the world his genius. It was not just a goal, it was a moment of magic and cunning that only the greatest can produce." By cheating. By doing a handball, breaking the most basic rule of football. The aftermath of the Hand of God goal and Argentina's subsequent World Cup victory solidified Maradona's status as a national hero in Argentina. The controversy over the goal did very little to diminish his legend. Instead, it added to it, and it added to the narrative of Maradona being a street-smart player who could outthink his opponents. In England, however, the goal became a symbol of injustice and what many perceived as the failings of international football governance. The anger and disappointment from the English side has lingered for decades, often surfacing in discussions about football's most controversial moments. Basically, mention Maradona to any older English football fan and watch them instantly get really, really angry. Although he denied that the goal was a handball publicly for many, many years, in 2005 Maradona made his debut as the host of an Argentinian TV show called La Noche del Ten, where he would have guests from around the world of football like Pele, Messi and Ronaldo. The original one, not the pampered Portuguese shit copy. But it also included his friends like Antonio Banderas, Mike Tyson, and his very close and very personal friend, Fidel Castro. So close, in fact, that he actually has his face tattooed on his dominant left leg. The show ran for one season, and in one of the episodes, 19 years after The Hand of God, Maradona publicly confessed that the goal was actually scored with his hand. The media reported the news, reigniting the controversy once again, and arguably making some shit up as they normally do. Peter Shilton, the goalkeeper, rejected the apology, saying it was too late. And Maradona, a few days later, after the British newspapers from The Sun had come out, then denied everything. And he said, "I never spoke of forgiveness. I said only that the story could not be changed, that I do not have to apologise to anyone." Maradona then started shit-talking Shilton in the process, saying that Shilton himself didn't even notice the handball and the defenders had to tell him afterwards. Maradona then said, "Besides, I don't have to apologise by making a statement to England." For what? To please whom? What pisses me off the most is that they repeat this in Argentina and talk to people who know me. They talk about contradictions. At 47, I think that apologising to the English is stupid. Okay, slightly based response, but a few days later, The Sun admitted to twisting the interpretation of Maradona's words, because although Maradona did admit to it, he didn't actually apologise. And The Sun made it out to be an apology rather than just Maradona shit-talking England. Though many, if not most, English fans absolutely fucking loathed him, there were a few who could acknowledge Maradona's brilliance. One of the rival players, Glenn Hoddle, admitted that Maradona had cleverly hidden the handball by flicking his head in sync with palming the ball. Although critical of his first goal, England striker and owner of the Habibi Hotel, Gary Lineker, confessed, "When Diego scored that second goal against us, I felt like applauding. It was impossible to score such a beautiful goal. He's the greatest player of all time by a long way. A genuine phenomenon." After the match, Maradona exchanged shirts with the English midfielder Steve Hodge in the tunnel. Following numerous requests to sell the shirt and a 20-year period during which it was on loan to the National Football Museum, Hodge decided to auction the strip off in 2022 through Sotheby's. On May the 4th, 2022, the strip fetched a record-breaking £7.1 million at auction, setting a new world record for sports memorabilia. Maradona just really liked setting records. Although there were claims by Maradona's daughter and ex-wife that this particular strip was a fake, that was disproven with photo resolution imagery and referencing Maradona's own autobiography, in which he stated that he did, for a fact, give the shirt to Hodge in the tunnel that day. Maradona passed away in 2020 at the age of 60 years old. But just 2 years before he died at the 2018 World Cup game between Argentina and Nigeria, he got into a little bit of controversy when his body transformed into 100% cocaine, and he was absolutely flying off of his fucking head. Look at the Perspex glass railing. That is exactly what you think it is. He ended up consuming so much of the devil's dandruff that he had to be rushed to hospital. The Hand of God goal has had a lasting impact on football culture and regulations. It has been cited in discussions about the need for video technology in football, which eventually led to the implementation of VAR, video assistant referee systems in modern football to help prevent such controversial incidents in future. The goal also became a touchstone in the broader narrative of the Argentina-England football rivalry, intertwined with the political and cultural tensions between the two nations, especially in the wake of the Falklands War just a few years earlier, alongside moments such as England manager Alf Ramsey's controversial remarks about Argentine players as animals, following the dismissal of Argentine captain Antonio Ratin during their clash in the 1966 World Cup. Even today, the Hand of God is a very hot topic among football fans and a defining moment of World Cup history. It's a reminder of how one split-second decision, one little act of cheekiness can change the course of an entire game, a tournament, and even a player's legacy. Love him or hate him, Maradona's Hand of God remains one of the most unforgettable moments in football history.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody just subscribe.